Savior.
Amen. Well done. All right. Yeah, my watch. Then I look more to sort of now what you're for. Actually, yeah, you see, I will have here a war and you will use the mission to Yakupo. I pray so upright. Am I being here in the era? Teach you what it out to you, but you do be in the mind. You may not share any of 2 minutes. And I'll pay you a check, yes, master. If a check, that is master, we are not near the actual set. This is a semester now, SCC having SCC upon. All right. So the museum, I dare to be the Christian home. I'm saying last week, if you have a commitment, I walk your major and then your mioba intimacy. I'm on to yen you, now. Oh, yeah, yes, you have a fast one. Yes, yeah, you feel it to me. The demon. So, Mama, Yanka Kayadin, then I'll see last week at this year, yeah, online is if you have any thing you can post it there. So then you type. Then I will type. Now I
say God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit are committed to one another. Now the foundation of the divine relationship is commitment.
The foundation of the divine relationship is commitment. Yes. Then you.
And their commitment is what makes salvation a reality.
Their commitment is what makes salvation a reality. Then you can't fast that point.
Genesis, in the beginning, the Holy Spirit was all of it, and then God spoke, and then Jesus Christ also made creation possible. I'm not a bit creative.
I'm not a bit creative.
New one.
Yes, as a man, I'm not kind of let it be. That's a name, right? So, will be a issue command, no be apply command now, where issue. So, that is what we said. And the point is, out of that commitment, you know, the man, Jesus Christ, feels so by we are saying, we indeed, it's in the Asian, the able be as well, a bone backwards to say a jack or back, and this is grown. You can start any other. Then I
can say, Trinity, see a pro to me blame. Now, send a break and I'm connected to shooting. My young white a year, yeah, 3 bars. Now, you have a camp, young woman. And drink of us. Now, it should be a war dissenting ideas. A lot of that commitment, you know. The more I told personal and their approach, they say they are committed to each other. That commitment forces them, or each of them, to act in the way or me sitting now, bring up a sort of decided to get my answer swap. Our friend said, and to me, and give me very contrary to our commitment here, if we said, Senya, you can. So, I do not ask my son. I said, a share, number one, I air friends now, which I'm always so committed. No more personal interest, and say, maybe I'm waiting. Sign the same swap. The year I for the tree. Listen to me, to sound more on
All right, yeah, that's it. Then come on, I mean, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's why you know, I read. Oh my God.
There was something as well. In the room, there were individual.
Okay. Oh my God.
And then with Genesis 1:1, we relate it to John 1:1. In the beginning was the word. But and I can't really
Connect. Now that's your Colossians 1:15. And last week, now will be Colossians chapter 1 verse 15. For the hormone theater, Colossians 1 verse 15 downwards. A better explaining your further. Let me see. Last week, you try and say, distinguish between covenant and a contract. Now, you say, a job or buying to Congress, I dare to tell you another kind. Our relationship faces in your contract, a covenant. And into a man commitment now, a woman, and you say, Baku Lucy, not Baku yet. Again. Now, Martin's read that contract, any covenant in them, near say, Christopher, if our house will become homes, then we must relate to one another in terms of covenant and yet contract. And then you're about to building on this concept. Near who said, really, near Christopher, our houses have not turned into homes. And they said, we were brought up on the idea of contracts. You give me, I give you. And it is hard there in that. Sad dream. In a she will be trim, my day worry, and unti. And now, a son said, our rear, if you're young, no young so fire, or more fast with Nancy, a year a permanent contract. So, what is our contract? I draining Bawarima? Definitely, it will not work. To nowhere. I said, who see down now instead of so best concrete or foundation, what didn't we in a shell? Since you talk, not say Wumba, a dine wedding, the baby. And when the Yabab here, covenant said, if you know how I mentioned with him, but if the Christian house will become a Christian home, then there must be a commitment to covenant relationships and not contract relationships. So that is what we are going to focus on today. So, yes, the Christian home is built on a commitment to covenant and not contract. So you start here we are. We'll be trying, but it will not work. Now, since the basis of all divine relationships is covenant, and marriage is a divine institution, only a covenant mindset can sustain it. Say, Unyankopon sɛnea ɔne nipa teɛ sɛnea ɔmo te wɔ soro ne nyinaa apam na ɛyɛ dɛ ɛda ɔmo ntɛm na awareɛ nso Unyankopon na ɛyɛ dɛ ɛhyehyɛeɛ adwene ne nsusua ɛwɔ emu nyinaa no ɛyɛ apam adwen ne wo nti kwan a ye fa so ema ware gina ema Kristo fie gina se oba ne be ma ne nyina apam adwen ye de e show muti se sa be ma ne dwi apam na oba ne dwi contractor it will not work oba ne dwi apam be ma ne dwi contractor it will not work nti I was said ye hu sa fa we ye tu ye tu one mo ye go Genesis chapter 15 ye kan asem bi wo na ye fantoa ya addition so and what be pray me say ye be din na ye ti ewia
Genesis 15 verse 1. And say me echino. Radiation ba Abraham nchen. Nso ade hu se nso Abraham. Ne wo chem. Na waketua bedoso. Na Abraham bisa se radi na mo. Na oni ebe mami. Miniba. Na menam miniba na. Na de obedi madie eni Damascus ni Eliezer. Na Abraham can say, "Share media. Wa mami asifo. Na share. If you ever and I will be madi. Let's go. Na share. Erade sem ba menchen say. Ene oyi and I will be wadi. Na je ko free wara yam no. And I will be wadi. Now they no free yet. I can't say, was right. I can't and so much say, which me, I can't. No, that's fair to say. Say, I was for a bay. Now, G. already a D. Now, who no say? No, who ye said to a name man. Some, catch fair, no say. Many already are, but they free, I walk, Caldiano. Say, the day as I see the man will say, my dear. 8. Now, this I say, already I'm home. At the end, I'm a day, will say, Bina. Catch fair to say, then cheer by where the inferior son. I break here already in Fabian son. Ugani already in Fabian son. And young Buku, any abronoma bread. Now, or the Yena bread. Now, pie will move, you know. No, of farm, stretch and him, stretch him for 2 to 2 sorry. Na no man de wa pai wo mu. Na no ma odi nam CCCM mo afunu. Sorry, mo afunu so. Na Abraham ame won. Na uya re akoto no. Abraham da na ho. Na hwe ehusun kebi blue. Let's say Abraham said, "Who and Para said, was if what be ye a home as I see any on their soul. Now, why in what now was soon. Now, will obey how one Frisha a Hannah. Now, my over soon one maybe won't attain. Actually, you know, what the Amudia P. Before Apple. I would yet overcall one another chain as a view. Now, West no CEO Bobra Bray, Bobra Bray Pemu. Now, I wanted to show you and name in our best sunny Abaha. He said, I'm worried for a movie in your own. Now, we are toy, not in some Kusu, from no free, we see any Jaframa there the far of our final interim. Our final interim. Then one of the any Abraham comes. Was it for now the day as I see Mama won you free his room was born 10 you go see was born 10 Kessie you freaks was born 10
then I was a long reading here again which I then I was what's going on. Come upon me, one in between one and one.
Nabra.
Younger born Yabra. I didn't answer. I didn't know younger born. Just imagine. Say younger born. Why would he reduce himself to have a covenant with Abraham? Then when you fear Abraham,
I'm said, me said there who said, we be so here be a the make better here on Tosso, and that's I resume, and that's a GDA if Abraham said. Because Abraham know that to some extent. Until now, when he said Abraham, I don't know what someone or the other one can say, Saturday. But to make it say, when I'm moon and you should say, I'm paying one more or mean, you know, and what we see so as stamp. Until now, young boy will say Abraham. Ebeji na no asama kan ede atum se saa na be ebe
well you know yeah but so when you go more gas and na say if it's not of value to you are not for baby but why would God commit himself to a covenant? I don't think you know near the BFE. So God was not looking for an exchange.
I'm saying, oh, said, yeah, you can't move. I mean, who said, tell me, what contract once and a couple of months. Blacksmith said, I said, the airplane now, every day, and the BBC so, a share of Tipian said, say, I didn't have a covenant, a shimono, between me, I had made the media, there must be a stamp. If I want the stamp here, it's the stamp, no, let's pay I said, no, I can't obey.
Not only that, you shared covenant no mokate na. Onyango bon hwehwe mwa. No my Abraham papa na Bible say or the enemy den CCC. Na bra enu to ye no onyango pon fi soro e de ne ho ba be fa sa mwa den infinity. What it meant was this. Onyango bon ka kire Abraham say apama one na paming so bu soa ne ato moa yi eno na wo say eton it means that onyankopon fa the relationship on Abraham very serious and that is even to obewu pa is willing to commit himself to the point of what death. When we need to for better for. And yet, idea said, Ukom na said, and your makoye mama now yet. What's not? You commit yourself to the point of death. If so, Nyanko reducing to the extent that for his relationship with human beings, in Abraham. Say, why you willing so or so yen also yen even if it means taking his life. So the point I want to make here is that said a Christopher house. What's the difference between house and a home? No, I mean just language.
House and home.
And so maybe
house a dining hall. Home no nipa subanya.
Yeah, so me can house you understand what I mean? What I'm trying to say is say a piece of 4 dying, a bit me up than a piece of 4 fear. Nipa na our phone won't must understand the gravity, the importance of covenant. Say, and ya dear, ye fan true ba o nyango pon ka sampo. And no mind. was Christian houses can become Christian homes only when couples unlearn the contractual approach to marriage and begin to embrace marriage as a covenant. A piece of one dying, bed dining, a piece of fear. Say, our reform, Simono, even to me, a giant ass by now, Santia, yet, you was it, our real yet is a contract. Ukoma, and your man go here, then you're happy. Your man go here, no, that's not how it is. Name I'll see, you share how to embrace marriage as a covenant. Our real say, yes, a pama, a dark nipa, near and them. Couples must be willing to live, Look at Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. What does this mean? Verse 24.
Now, then, after that,
or say, therefore a man shall leave his mother and father and shall be joined together. Some version says. The big version says shall cleave to his wife. What does it mean? What does it mean to leave? Bearman and then now. And I sometimes that is in a Bible that can't Bearman go on. Does it mean that Bearman now go on also Jack the man and Papa?
never know what you want for.
Nice physically there.
You will come to that question. But let's understand on the surface what it means. Well, leave, say. Leave how?
So you say tell that.
And you're dressing your kind. So you won't need any.
I'm who live now who do move but no more one.
No matter what.
That might be believe because that man the responsibility say offended for a piano or a bar. It means me and now I'm no papa and chain. Now, how would you fend for Christian when your parents are the ones taking care of you? And I said,
so, as I'm back no pro, but you didn't mention into the way I work is only in terms of the commitment to the family. Okay.
Yeah, James, I make my father say, we need to say necessarily say living physically say who to be.
It could be. Maybe it may be implied.
But the thing is, say the worker. Most of the time, no man, your inclination towards our family more than the women. The reason is that your culture, and a place that demand on the grandma. Oba and power rate, not in demanded from her said, Unia was sorry, Unia was said, but them based on us. Our woman, but still the family expects say, who responsibility towards them ourselves. And he said, one to me, I know what we said. Your wife and family first, and son, those ones there will always be a conflict. And maybe you said, or said the man shall leave. The man shall leave. Say, but physically, maybe you have to live physically, but I don't want to mention that. But I said, what being nice, no, we have started the family. Indeed, what will be one more thing, resources now, it is towards that family.
But the question begs, is it only say men and one or more inclined towards their family, and as a man to have that tendency?
But to a large extent, remember, even if it's a cultural something, it places a lot of that, members of them. a man. A man will be a catch and not more demands on Bema than Oba.
All right. Until Baka Bibiana. Amaya.
What's that man? That is from his chair. Man,
but I'll say, man, where you come or come in the
specific sense. Well, once a year before in family, you can say people who are either related by blood or by marriage, and you will fear there is a covenant between a jack and a ma. You get it? By virtue of the blood that runs between us, we have a covenant. But today you can bear man na air contact on the family. So that living is a change of allegiance, a disengagement of your covenant. This is what permanent no man no papa be name over performing a new wife. You are building or you are cutting your own covenant, a different covenant. And so, say when to me and leave your this covenant that you cannot form a meaningful covenant with a new person. And our baby prayer was sorry more we are saying because either bear manner and also bad and they've not been able to live. They are psychologically still linked with their initial covenant status with their parents. And you say, if you know Christopher, if you know fundamentally, we must have a capacity to live. Not just living. If you are non-viewer, you must have a capacity to live. And this suffers away. World have four shopper. Now, World have four to me the Nadia Milo. A boom money bed. Now, yet the boom we are, it becomes what? Inseparable. Which means, a mama now or family, or mamma no papa, you must be able to live. And be able to join yourself to a new person, a new covenant, such that there is no hole, there are no gaps between new partner or form. But then you're not teacher. We live in a cultural setting and it makes living and living difficult for many of us. Most of us live physically, but emotionally, psychologically, we are still attached to our families. And we are not talking for ourselves. That means that we are speaking to a wider kind of thing. There are certain things that make this living and living. There are some again. You move why we are still being pulled towards our families, even when we are married. So I want us to think. My entrance are new. I think it's very difficult for many people to live. It may not be your situation, but let's imagine, let's think. Why would it be difficult for you to live? Why is it difficult for some people to live and to live?
Lots of the standard family system too. And some are when you know now attachment now is already there. Will be a true no one time. Our way and mommy, in the absence of the real biological mother, will be a share no bra or how you go now to the piano where you are. It is how we now say, you want to be powerful engineer. Oh, he says, I did one day, you can be shared. I
don't know, leave to clean below. That's even you have to neglect to send your papa to be a show. It's also only like
I think that the key word here priority and not just neglect. You have to prioritize or family now or starting, not neglect. So I don't think that word now you're using here neglect, priority. What do you think?
Nti saa ɔmo nyinaa no ɛwɔ hɔ nom a wɔn sɛ sinɛ kan no ebe baabi no ebi a tapade musician bi ofi de wɔlaka wɔ so sɛ pati fi wɔlaka ɔsɛ sɛ ɛkɔto o maame ne wɔyɛ sɛ nsu afa ɔmo a ɛn sɛ
Ibe
man obi
Papa Yancy.
Okay ɔmo nti saa de te bi wɔ bi ɔmo na ne bi sipusan bi aba I said choose between two options.
And that a question we on.
And the Bible not can live to live. Why do you have to?
The book was all I said, you just an instance bank and a member. Yes, I inclined towards.
Oh, fine. I mean, on the top way.
Main reason is that if I want to already cook in social life in here, how can you live with such a personality? But meanwhile, who familiar? If you are familiar, what's not home, sir? What's not home, Didi? What's not home, Yebibia? No, this is the situation. I want worry here or you're opposite, and he's not even willing to. So, how can you cleave? You can't cleave and you can't leave because you go back.
So that's it. See, it speaks to a wider kind of thing. We'll talk about it. But I was saying that sometimes in informal conversations, no one was that so over mammy no ways of the Lube one to be a man. Baby mammy, but we would. Ella, me another thing, so me who said your family, you know, they have their pedigree, the pedigree. Like, one brother, where you say, you are starting afresh with somebody. You don't know how now. So what really now will leave you too much with your new family? That's our country power, baby. So I said, and so what's it? And maybe strategic risk management. We want to keep one leg here, another leg here. So many of us marry with divided commitment, and some of these ideas. Ukuna be a nimno, and then after who died, Papa Dina, procedure also cover nobody. So all these are factors that play into our inability to live and to live. And that is where the cracks begin to emerge.
That's all I draw okay. Now, maybe who said it is in a limited sense to say, yeah, name number. So, most of you know. Couples don't stay like we are staying. This is a meeting. For most of my life, I was there. I'm home. How often do I come there? It is a very year and to swap. Would you compel me to always come to home for conversation?
If phone, and you say they are physical movement, access to the family.
Now you rely on your family than your.
You find solace somewhere. And so, a time baby, I bet I want to say an opening would come. But I will come back to this. Is this a to sort of undermine your power?
No.
Hold on. Let's keep that angle.
Okay, comment. Anab na ya kuma obin. sometimes it becomes difficult for one to live based on the upbringing and understanding they've gotten of the family. Many are made to believe that come what may, their family still is their parents and siblings, making them always attached to them, unwilling to be entirely attached to another.
It's true. And for example, the nature of your family, if you come from a very close-knit family like mine, like yours, it's very difficult when you are bounded by life situations that it becomes very difficult. But I think that you NBC said, one must be matured enough to find ways of overcoming some of these things. And until I say, anyone, because I dream no dream to say,
sometimes I feel say a lack of adequate preparation.
I think so. Many of us marry without preparing for it. We don't know what we are entering. We don't know what to expect. And we don't even have the tools when things do not fall in place like the way we know them. And usually we measure our marriages by where we are coming from, which is wrong. Young person, couples must.
But also wait. First, I will because a sequence is here. Okay. I don't say. So we need a GP. I will depend on one. I might be a call no say. What now? Because women say again, come around to on meeting. It brings my mind to assembly alliance into your kind. Oh, young as if he has it. I think it's a be a course. And I'm just all can say. I said, we know about. It's a private check. When he said, I don't try to compensate the situation. Sir, Papa, XC, all mine. Indeed, a hundred so can I say. Some of you know about. And you know, I said, be say no, then it means that maybe a rule. It may be what was over papa, who was over papa, we saw papa, we saw papa. And I said, Papa, try who and even go on. We expect to say, second year free, sir, or a don't dear. Maybe a corner woman will meet a similar.
That's a thing, but that is the wrong mindset that some of us. You cannot expect your home to be you don't. Then it means you are not trying to be progressive. And it is a mindset that suggests that everything in your home is right, perfect, and that there needs to be no upgrading. And so, I know here, I dream here, I was here to sign.
Question. Benjamin Seto. What does preacher mean by measuring marriage by where we are coming from?
Ben, near me, Pastor said, unconsciously, no, you're warrior. Me say, me the warrior. As one mechanic said, I want my family to be better than my parents, which means I want to be ahead of what I saw. But the people around, they want their families to be their family. They don't want papa, don't want marry, they look alike. It is any papa, and then mammy, it didn't come on, some person, and then you put as some more can send your money on your send your poor talk and poor. Some person or more. So that's what I mean. Say, Obimoha almost setting new standards. They want to bring the standards now into their own family. And that is wrong. Because of that man as a banner, and Yantin or Bushio. Only sending your mind. On the new ideas never. So there must be that maturity where the two of you decide that we are going to set our own standards, build our own family. If they are good, but when you are there, it is better. So let me learn to incorporate those ideas. Because every generation must be better than the one now moving by. Will always remain the same. Ben, I hope that you understand this. Let's go. Should be a bell.
I'm going to go for me.
Now, let's go on. Couples must stay together in a bond of loyalty and trust to do together what neither can achieve alone. It's a covenant, me kind. Answer now, if you bet me, if you are very close to feel, our reform must agree, said, or bet now boom, to develop loyalty for themselves, to develop trust for themselves. And this is not divided loyalty, where one lies somewhere and your loyalty is divided. That's not it. That you trust yourself, say, mo beye adia say one who ti account to me which means obi obe wari bi a ni fie beye Christo fie no must not have a mindset of self-sufficiency. Say, I don't need you. By myself, I am okay, I can function. You cannot marry with that mindset. Who was that dream now? You don't need to marry. Because our real nipa, remember, nipa ba phone to Jack covenant and everything. And so a bit more hard. Again, part of their training, you know, they have been trained to be independent. But our real, we have to depend on one another. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. And yes, isn't it? Then God said,
Mama, yen nipa wo yen subai so.
Janga yang ko ni da.
Amen.
Adin din yang ko ga za mama yen. So ono kwa ba ku fi so betumi aye mana ye ya. Se ko no ango ye na boa. But ohun se sa dey we. Ono ango ndimi nye no hia the input of the Son and the Holy Spirit. Njo say mama ye mum nye nye dey. Ye. And I think that the language of mama yeno is something that couples should learn to cultivate. Yen mum. But say, but your language always reflects me. And it ain't to me. It must say, two cannot go together unless they agree. Say, nipa mienu to me ntina until so ma dwen ye den ba ko nti say efie ebisofo betimi adane mu fie ebisofia fundamentally no answer number wiring go I say munyina moti ase say wunyia me na me ye den me hia sa anya sa dia entumi nye yi eda. Couples must be morally committed to another beyond mere exchange.
But this is a question. Is there me as a whole? Obi catcher me say, one party say, oh, I'm going to be able to look here. How much of what? What may you ain't pending on water? Or instances be bread. So I say, or near Obama, a chance here, or can't be wishing circle. I was the book now in the moon. Bano, a person can or book. For years, who said, a book. Nice and power, and you say, Papa, we were discussing that. We were yourself.
Well,
you want to say, like, cancer myself. But it is one thing saying or telling, then that he still enough.
Saying aloof.
You say, I'm concerned.
Why they are concerned?
All around come. Say, yeah, use the catcher. I make come. Said, okay, say, yes, I'll just be quiet.
Okay.
Or vice versa.
Yes. Current state of affairs I will describe being, it's not the best. That's not the way to go. But the point is, how did we get here? So sometimes Near our wife wanted symptoms, but causative factors is beneath. Unzi can say, and yet, dear, but Obama and also far, who said your partner is not for you, support you, will not do anything for you. You hesitate to share some of these things with that person from each side. So when loyalty is divided, Nemusa Migiri not dream Nakuma Edaha and not maintain not dream and not maintain. Then I know say I'm alone, each one for himself, and then that's how it's going to be. It's not the best. But
I said, okay, any one of those see catch them, unless I'm not catching them today. Also, as some lawyer, no one baby. So, my educational fund and money about that. Oh, one baby. I hear good no cry, no one baby.
Oh, I'm saying, yeah, you show marriage.
And I may come once
I said, yeah, because you can't say
we are questioning information they be over on to me. And there are reasons for it.
What about my instance says, say what you say, pen. Say no one kind. What can I say, pen? Say, okay, but they are okay. Well,
I could take their one country. It's because of your behavior.
Let me first condemn, say, our only one job, yes, sir.
Men was he dying, I almost down. Now, we'll wash and we didn't mean I was down at dancing room.
Here come. You're worried not because we are perfect. You're worried just because we want to learn to grow together to understand one another. You see, and I do a possible. Each one wants to pay each other back. So I say, why you say it's misleading? May say it, and that is how our Yawari wired attitude. At the end, I said, Ni papa muno. I am loyal to you. You are also loyal to me, Anambra. That's how it goes. Say, again, I know. Because we are one, inseparable, minty.
It's a blessing of what we are learning. So when we make questions,
I think that Linda is a reflection of the realities of married life. We'll get there. But
I believe, say, if Auntie Dada, you are in such situation, we are learning and they wait for a purpose. If you start inculcating their young try and you see our hand into your life so that you'll be committed to each other, there will be a covenant between the three and Godhead.
yes.
And that's the essence of their young.
Change is very difficult. Well, just make sure that you remember these things because you are going to. And the challenge is, so only, not the other person, no, Nima, it's hard. It's hard. As a baby, you are drained. You feel drained. Couples must be morally committed to one another beyond mere exchange. And I'm quoting this passage, Genesis chapter 39, verse 9. It's about Joseph in the house of Potiphar. Joseph had a dream. In the engineer, we had dreams of our marriage, right? Joseph had a dream. He was going to reign. He had big dreams for himself, for his family. No, don't and don't trust you expect that God is going to help you see you through certain situations. Yet, Joseph was a Ghana in the country. Ghana. ewie eto ono mane ko ye den akwa so tizanye na do ai etin or me not to say na me to say so there is some bitterness within you, right? But here was Joseph with Potiphar's wife offering him sex for other privileges. I'm sure that servitude no better than but because of Joseph's commitment, moral commitment to God in Joseph, how can I commit such a great sin against God? Loyalty may have been broken, trust may have been broken, but Joseph was morally committed to God. So when you do a covenant, it doesn't mean that everything will go as you want it. But if you don't have a covenant mindset, now say into papa agreeing side, now say there's an opportunity for you to do evil if you are not morally committed. But you know where obey. Because you feel that the inadequacies of your covenant partner would justify money ahead. Okay. Ask yourself, why are some spouses cheating on their spouses? Because they have reasons. Me to say, to say, or to say, makonya bema, makonya obebia, or satisfy those needs. Because they think in terms of contracts. So me say, na me say, there is no covenant, there is no moral commitment. And it said, if fear vigilant to fear, we must not think in terms of contract. Seven. Our reaction says, a fine thing if you've been in a reader sometimes. But when you are morally committed to one another, we try to keep it as it used to be. I said, you are 10 minutes. So we are still learning how covenant can turn our Christian houses into Christian homes. And I'm saying that when we have a covenant mindset, couples stay committed, they stay together in a bond of loyalty and trust to do what neither can achieve alone. So there's nowhere at a point in your married life you can say, I don't need him and I don't need her. It doesn't have to happen. There is no point in your marriage that Becca said, I have no moral commitment to him or her. And see, oh, I dream about him. You wait. Now let me find reasons to justify and defend. But you should always think that. So Joseph said, how can I do such a sin? You must always tell yourself, better my yourself money way, it's ya, when you are men walk apart. Okay, 5 minutes more. Okay, young people. Couples must be comfortable identifying with one another. Jesus said, I and my Father are one. Our wife was saying, and now want to be a one to identify with their spouses. Most our wife will identify either with their families, either with their kids, or with themselves. Said, being proud to say, being, it's not that. We pride ourselves by what we do. I am a preacher, I am a teacher, but we don't identify. And you see, subtle things in the family. Said, Okunubi celebrated the success of a colleague woman, a better woman, or Yiribi celebrated the success of somebody else in the family. Hey, no, what you say? So, Nikum and I didn't have a chick. Becca, but that we pick up. This lady, this guy does not identify with me. Oh, it is normal. But it is because we don't identify with ourselves. Songs of Songs say, my love is mine and I am his or hers. That kind of. But the demons we money. Our wife will be money. They celebrate themselves.
Our cultural setting, our traditional culture, our culture. I think that it's one major problem. And it's about time I think we should let go of that cultural mindset in our young people these things. In our culture, the man is up, even in the Bible, the woman is subordinate to the man.
Not subordinate. Well, it's submission.
But submission doesn't mean subordination. Yes. But in our cultural setting, submission means subordination. And so Sabano, and who said he's way up here, and our body shall say, it's I'm not making feminism, and I say,
I understand.
If we have the mindset said we are equal, there is a covenant, there is a commitment between us that the fact that here Bema doesn't put me way above or banana. I think that some of these issues
would not.
Because you have this superior mindset, say you are about the woman, you are about the what you say is the word, is the law. It's your ban must live by it. Or ban must be it doesn't matter. I think that's one major.
Well, it's true. It's true. But you see, when I'm conscious of this, when we are discussing marriage, I am a man. And I feel all the things I feel because of the fact that I'm a man. As someone also better known, you feel the way you feel because you are a woman. So it is not all that there is. I am conscious of that. But Mr. Mecca said, if a man feels that the wife is totally lost in their relationship and that his victory is hers and her victory is his, this kind of friction is reduced. When somebody, a woman, is bent on showing himself, I can be better than you, I have this more than you, and then a man, men by nature are very competitive. But so if you show yourself to be likewise, then let's play the game. You get it? So it takes two to tango. And
I'm saying we need here.
5 minutes.
Okay, the Bible can be said. The wife must live in subjection to the husband. The husband must love the wife. But I said the husband should also live in subjection to the wife. That is the standard. Now one I assets. So cash out and change. I'm going to understand. Just say woman must be subjected to the husband, and then the husband must love this thing. And you know there is a degree of that yes who said it's existing.
It is there, but Bible kind the man should not make the wife to submit. The wife must submit out of her own volition, out of a sense of love from the husband. So I think that sometimes we apply this, it is biblical, but the way we apply it, is not biblical. We feel entitled to when you are not. Yes. Young person. So and then say if you get them Christopher, couples must be comfortable, celebrate one another. It doesn't matter what somebody else has done. What matters is what the two of you are doing. If a husband feels that a wife does not admire him, but admires somebody else, it is the greatest turn-off. When that person feels admired by somebody else, all affection goes towards that person. And the same works for two. So these are not cultural things. These are And it becomes cultural because of us trying to duplicate our family. You get it? Say, me mama and papa say I'm new so we are one year. So I don't want to learn anything. I want to just pick from here and plant here. It's not working. That's one of the reasons why some of these because what's nothing. That's all we're doing. What's the cultural practice be or more. You don't perpetuate it, do you? You change it. Culture is supposed to be dynamic and not static. But it takes somebody with that consciousness to know what you mean as a sign. Couples must be open to transformation. Some people marry and they want as a young person, young people do. So what they are planning for their marriage is that the blueprint they have is what their mothers and fathers have told them. Beyond that, they are not willing to learn anything. They are not ready for transformation. Into what better now we're running and you could try say or better than to create a new onion. Young ladies are filled with the bitterness of their mothers, and young guys are filled with the disappointments of their fathers. And they are suspicious and everything. So they are not open for transformation. As a king, I don't mean it the way your father said to your mother, but because of a dream show, you understand it the way your mother told you to understand it. That is what is creating the challenges we are having. Marriages in the church is perpetuating generational curses. To perpetuate way now why we are here, and then papa and mommy there almost the same. Why? Because we are not ready to remove the old lens and put on a new one. That's it. Paul said, Romans 12, verse 1. I'm using this to make this point. And say, okay. Paul said, and you are not to make us say, into your wife for any more bear. Me do not more grown so a two for set was so. Mofa munipe bianam said, while warrior bear yet to set Christo, fearing Christo a warrior. When you are marrying, you are presenting your body as a living sacrifice. And it also Afaria echiasi and chain our warrior move and son wash yourself bearing. Most of us are dead to our marriages, but we go to church to sacrifice and bear our warrior bearing. And it also a year from a soul young woman to us and more adrenaline. We have a song adrenaline woman. We have a summer adrenaline woman to us. What do we say? What? Or say, do not be conformed to the pattern of the world. So, warrior, don't conform to the pattern of our culture, to your parents. They are not your standard. Our real standard, yes, or through our real. That is our standard. So, if you want to conform to any marriage arrangement, that is what you should look for. So, we should not be conformed to the past. We should not use the past as our yardstick. Because, yes, we are in a better set to the other number. We should not be conformed, but we should be what? Renewed. We should be transformed by the renewing of our minds. And that is what is killing us. Most couples are not prepared to renew their minds, to learn anything new, to become anything new. Send me no or tear and some otherwise. If there is any fluctuation, it is negative. It is perceived as negative. Nire man tumpo. Senena ni mame emano enya hwi ofie sa na pesa nire nso ye de. Eye. Senya ni papa na ni nya hwi ofie sa na pesa ni ku nso ye de. That is what we are working with. Say, the Christopher, our real bed is set in a Yankee track. Couples must move away from I and move and more towards us. I never could call a selfishness, self-centeredness. Something of them are to let us
and it all stems from the American. Oh, like, that's the problem. We say, oh, for Bano, whatsoever the woman thinks, no, and nothing. Oh, and people sometimes it depends on the way the woman also presents things to the Indian war. They will be but I need too much. They have this sense of superiority.
Maybe you don't come. Or buy a cassa. What can I say? Or buy? But we can't go to Cassa. Oh, yeah. Now, when I get a ball, Papa Nagasano, Silver Blue, now one has a ball, yes, we are. That's how I for the say. Or buy on memory. And to know, yet to know, yet to say, I be every. Yeah, Sir Samson and Tina. Samson Tina, you know. A honor, now here's here. Another one. Wow, was I? Very good. Oh, and then someone, a mother came now, and I said, you get because it might land you into something.
A man so on the current generation of man thinks that in some ways they can measure up to the standard of.
No, they are learned.
Well, yeah. Oh, no. So that is the challenge.
Me, I don't think that women are inferior, but I think that God gave us different roles. I also said that, but a man abandoned percent on better. And I must admit that a man might be so understanding of the man being the head, and it's also distorted. Yet, I think that we must sit and understand and find the perfect balance. There is, I think you know how. I drop a kind of graph. He said, sometimes I remember, oh, what to say, my country, so what? I won't need me. Oh, one said, oh, by a short period of time, Franco. There is something. Sometimes, there is something we have seen, and usually, I'm 6 years older than her. You get it? The kind of experience, the kind of exposure is not the same. Not because I don't support. It's something I know, something I have. I think that is. And maybe I also, she's coming from a place where when you say, so instead of her understanding from where I'm coming from, I'm also understanding from where she's coming from. That is where the problem lies. Well, I think that there is a way. Yes, yes, I do. None of you strong is it. A bag is a family affair. But there are dynamics. I didn't know when you say home. One thing that we have not been taught is how to communicate. I don't know whether it's a subject of marital communication. We have not learned that kind of art. And that is what sometimes as someone it is harmless. But because of our preconceived ideas, until once we ask on her, near Trinity. Right? So, and then all my friends here, but yes, let us get away from the contract mindset. Say, the only time a family should be happy is when the exchange is perfect. That's not how it is. See, you are Pama. So, or say, also say, and what? Sometimes when we complain about our spouses, we think that it makes us better than them. We don't know, say, the more you complain about somebody, it tells you the kind of person you are. And so, Mama, you strengthen a Pama and them. It is no more a contract. There's no way, like I said, why you saying, well, maybe our auntie said, I'm a moped, and I put me a covenant. But apart from that, you are stuck together forever. It's either, we are then, so Papa, who was saying, who Papa to say, that's why we go. That is what you will be known for. That is the scar you are going to bear. Indeed. Nobody who says our boat, it's either say we float or we sing together. We are in that together, and let us work, do whatever is possible to ensure that it works. In basically, I said, Mr. Yo, we go first in your online. Alright, next week. Sorry, but Mungani, next week, like water and oil. Any other combination other than covenant versus covenant would make a Christian. Wouldn't make a Christian home. Say, their money drink contract or banning drink covenant. It will not work. Until so, Omunina said, our rare covenant, and this is what it means. That is when it is going. Next week, you let us. I don't pass it. It means you are teacher. What we did in the other. Then I've sent you the earlier. Now, mail new phone to you.
May you notification. You better
lost up now.
Say, of course, our effort, any CCCM, and then you swap that you come at home and you come get any one view, right? I hear the band. Babu no matter that's a you want to na class man said that we see us from ma who am say now when I'm see also ma say about sadem yes share the so na e dia ma ko akwedi no ase yes na mo so on share phone mi adwin Mas a taça ia para gamar no é pão, nem no presente. Mas um pai, se ele era de fato, mano, na hora das coisas, eu sou, ele nem passa. Eu diria, não tem uma for, e aí nem campo mal de como. Ou só achou o único não, eu tenho um outro tio. Bring moon is also no opportunity or on the same. The Paka is up at the answer what you know, must I free. Before we had to move, we had to say no, I can say the dear. Hey, that was yes, bring say. What can you home? Now I did, I didn't put here, and did Akuma. I know I don't say it. My really secretary. It means so to home, I have always now the whole would do. I shall call him. Can we and then you are democracy?
Amen.
Said, it did you for Puma, the young man, man, and so find one. Therefore, that was so we must have been in that form. That was a foul which yes, I said. You say one more. Now, please, I would give you. The part I say, a part I went to. Yes, I said, yes, I was so unfair when we are saying against us. Munkaway, and I have Coco. Maybe you want to enter in a information was suffered. For sure, drop is not sure. We can surprise you. Amen. Of course, I'll bring you. That will not just say, you hear more at all, the John Ayim. Let me tell John, I say, them to do. Sabina, just say what I do. But to do, best one. And he died, and I'm the mamma. And he did, and he done. The true woman, a person. Without much to say, they were not why I come my see you or pay more. You be in fancy game. Some people never fight. Now, my own fight. The pa was no crown. Young guys, if I was so adult, no one was saying, a brand new name on where part of the mind. Say, you should know your mind that team one. I make it say, you much more than we created out and ourselves. If you know any and if you know share a time of mercy, now so that I am a young tour. If you saw the tour, the tour sending a tea, and the tibia, and a day, that's what you are over 9 weeks ago. Now, I'm not to say the issue was someone. Yeah, I can say a mind. I bring the umpires over Tiakumuni again. Now, maybe I'm a part or there Akuma, into whatever you may. Mountubia, send shit and wash rain, bra, they didn't come from what their mouth. You are drawing through a phone and sound what you are mouth, the umpires will say. My authority enough for it, so we Monshans what the song of Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Yes, my baby. The West Pakino at the next national answer. Now we are dancing so or twa. Ye, my son,
Papa, Nasi counting down. Yabushini, the Busia is here, and then they will be suffering now. And I'm a dog so, and why ye no 2 million Nasi and the mountain from. And I was so a man, no boy and quite home by. Now, no time for some to share fire, whom in our drinking in a Busia Santana walk, a teaching, and no wedding, and one boy in our home by. I mean, I'm sick. I think I'm going to be Papa, but don't ask you that. Amen. And then, so why you're applied for what boy I must say, I'm him. Yes, she must send Atom and what to say, FEM, a video, or a dinner. Near Yensen, and Fatin, so what to suffer, what be a prayer, my Papa, but don't ask you that. Amen. Young Pie, what he said. Be very new house soon no of you and you call the Biada. And it's your bride I see near diamond, near straw on Semisha, the straw on Sema of wine ball, the straw upon China or Trey see me. Young Pie Bonnie said, and my uncle Tomus you near Sam Baum, Am I a papa by a man? Time for one seven to say a fire woman and papa, you didn't never yes, we should do. Ensuring the power, I say a book. Now what you papa me and Sanka. I see a moon seven insura, you move to me. You found not seeing the Biada. Your mom, yet person you come now and pipe away. Your kind be a self on any nara. Your kind are for, I'm a broke for, and Yankanya Puna. The Japan will yen himself check my soon yabby, my text and yabby. My insurance, you know, if we are soon our tree. And for your yanking at town from Pope, and the papa, you be shame more hard now what you said now, and the moon not say any idea. The kind of self on any yard of my better so. Bonfire too. The man penny shorts up, and no more almost fat one. I was a dream. The strange answer from the moon at the moment. Teacher Brown, near Becca said, day. Papa, soon a diet. Not sure to find pa. And yan no more I ain't true. Send it by our mind. We are seeing now with me a fissa, Tibian. Ah, a year, and then I see them. I see a no man. That I be few happy, you feel nasty. When you and boy, my friend, what it was here when you are suffering now. That part of Moon Casa, or would you be via Cobia, my bottom people more on mobile. One for two should be about, and one was a body be a mice. That part, yes, sir, for the same shot. You see, in Shra, if you were in a home, Benjamin, this was from Benjamin. Papa, and yet not now what you imposing our people. Monsieur Essendia Papa Pumay, and ma yes, I did a beada, and ma or tampa on some in Yan de beada. I ain't now when you young part 99, and ma, shall so I did it. And I was 6 to 8 years, my money. Yes, we should do. Amen.